What's good? What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. I gotta make a video. Just all these situations I'm seeing on social media. It's a lot of things going on, and I find it to be a little bit. I'm not gonna say disingenuous. Well, yeah, it's disingenuous. Um, I saw the Diddy thing. That's he going down for that. But I also saw a bunch of other videos. Well, I listened to a bunch of other videos because I was working, and it's a constant theme, even with the whole Diddy and Cassie thing, and that's why I titled this the title when people are snakes and sharks, because what I'm seeing is this constant thing where it's acceptable behavior for a snake to be with a shark or a shark to be with a snake, and people jump on the bandwagon of who's the lesser of the two evils. And I'm looking at it in a sense like I can't have sympathy for a snake that got bit by a shark or a shark that got bit by a snake. It doesn't, it doesn't, I don't have that type of, I guess, mindset. And the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because even when I'm listening to people do panels and people do commentaries, it's this thing that keeps happening over and over and over again where people won't admit, people will allude to their wrong, but won't admit they're wrong. But people that have a whole laundry list of what was done to them, and I'm like, this ain't. Mm-mm. I don't like how this is going about now, because it's basically, like I said, the lesser of two evils. This person, I'm a liar, but that person is a bigger liar. But we were together lying. But now that you know, the stuff didn't hit the fan, I just want y'all to know I ain't that bad. And I'm thinking to myself, no, no, you that bad. You gotta be that bad. There's no way around it. Let me see if I can fix this. Um, because now we're talking about a scenario where you got people out here who really don't want to admit the God's honest truth. And that truth is very simple in this sense. You see, Pop. I hate to say it this way, but it's simple in the sense of y'all want to play around with y'all want to dance with the devil, but blame the DJ. It's the devil fault, it's the DJ fault, but it's not your fault for being in that scenario. And I'm sitting there looking like, nah, player, it's your fault. It's definitely your fault. So now we got people just running around here acting brand new. And I'm sitting here like, I can't see it. I can't see it. You got people out here in some instances, they're, what do you call that? Um when you can be in a situation, you can say, okay, this is America, and I know all the pros and cons of all these groups in America. So if I'm a black man and I'm dealing with somebody who's not a black man, and they can say, okay, I'm this and he's that. So if I play this role, even though I'm in the wrong, people are gonna go with me. Like I'm gonna be in the right, because as long as I play this role and they are there and he's the black man, then well, I gotta be right. Thus the um oh, I'm a victim. Oh my God, he did something. It's like, no, he didn't do anything. But hey, if the police show up, you did something because you're a black man and they're not a black man, right? Size, stature, color, tone, all this stuff matters. And when you see people go about doing this type of stuff where they're opportunistically playing on stereotypes to work in their favor while they're up to no good and people are still cool with it. And people go, yeah, that's a good move. I'm like, okay, it's a good move. Okay. So what's the problem when you wind up being a snake that got bit by the shark? I'm supposed to feel for you now? And I'm not talking about, say, like, okay, I was talking to my wife about this. I said, I saw the whole Diddy thing. And I said, I'm gonna tell you what the lawyer is gonna wind up doing. And I saw a post with 50 Cent the very morning, this morning. I was like, the lawyer is gonna mess around and say, listen, they were in a hotel in Los Angeles. He ran out of his room with a towel on and chased her down the hall and assaulted her. And he grabbed a bag. He grabbed a bag, and I think it was her purse. But the first thing he grabbed when he yanked her to the ground was a bag. And then he kicked her. Then he kicked her again. And then he drug her down the hall or something. And people gonna say, what's in that bag? I already know what's gonna happen. They're gonna say, hey man, I think she stole something. I think, I think that's what they're gonna do. That's exactly what they're gonna play. I think she stole something. And when I was talking to her about it, I said the issue becomes what? Right now, he's guilty he definitely guilty of assault. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, definitely. But if he was guilty of assault 8 years ago, why didn't they bring us out 8 years ago? And this was not too. This was a couple of years, maybe a year and a half, maybe two years after the Ray Rice incident. So now I'm like, okay. Now, then I saw the video with the guy. Was it angry reaction, black angry reaction, whatever it is. The black dude who was making the videos, and now he fell out with his, I guess, white girlfriend who he had a baby with, and now all of a sudden, uh, he says she's painting him in a bad light, and now he can't see his kid, and basically they're using his videos against him in a sense, and his image that he put out of himself against him, and I'm like, now he's seeing it, and the reason why I brought that up in this sense was because he said at a certain point he almost got into it with a guy because the guy was like, that white girl gonna be trouble basically for you. And lo and behold, immediately that's what happened. But the dude was out of pocket by the way he came at him. And it immediately crossed my mind when I was listening to the guy talk. I said, hey man, I get it now. Like some of y'all like playing with fire and then it's too late. And what I mean by that is this. I'm seeing young men now get caught up in the idea that I'm a better man than my dad, and I'm gonna date the same type of women who have bad intentions that my dad did, i.e., my mom. But it ain't gonna happen to me. And my situation is a whole lot different than my dad's situation because he's a bad man, but I'm good. But I don't know how I wound up in this situation. And it's like, because you're dealing with snakes, man. You're dealing with snakes and sharks, man. So that becomes the issue. And then, what I'm seeing is um I'm seeing men and women talk together on panels, and to make my argument work, I'm gonna paint this person in the bad light and I'm gonna paint this person in the good light. And even though the facts are right there, this happened and this happened, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna muddy the water and say something that say maybe this person is this, maybe this person is that. They could have possibly been this negative thing, and this other person could possibly be this angelic thing that this would never happen to. And it's like, okay, once you go down that road, you a snake. Because the minute you got to paint somebody to be bad to make you right, 9 times out of 10, that person is not bad. It's just I need them to be bad because I'm a scumbag. And the only way I can get away with being a scumbag is if I point the finger at them for being this negative thing that I just made up. So now I'm looking around and like, man, this has become so normalized in society that people see it as right. They don't it's not these two individuals are both in the wrong. It's two individuals, but this person is super wrong, and this person we're gonna ignore their wrong. And I'm like, man, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well for society because I see it even in people in quote unquote business practices. We was talking about the same thing last night. That's why I said snakes and sharks. Um, Ironically, I look at a lot of car market and real estate videos about how the car market is dying in America because people can't afford to buy cars. People can't afford these payments. People are getting repoed. These car lots, they're about to go under in a sense because they can't sell cars. And now they gotta, sell these cars at auction to get them off their hands. So they'll get hit with these taxes. And at the same time, you're seeing, mechanics, especially at these car lots. Now it costs you $5,000 for stuff that it cost a few $100s for years before. And my point is this, and people had that practice of, making people pay for the car's worth 40,000, but since it's hot right now, so you gotta pay 55 to get this car off the lot because there's so much going on. And it's like, so basically, y'all was getting over on people being scumbags, and then now people can't pay because you didn't throw them under the bus being a scumbag to get over. And now you thought you was gonna make more money when they came back, when they got to fix the car, but they realized no, because you're gonna charge me, $5,000 to do a $800 job. I ain't bringing this stuff there, so now the car lot's going under. You know, Same thing with the rising cost of real estate. And the issue is people are believing that, oh yeah, it's cool to overcharge. We all got to make money. Hey man, it is what it is. It's society, man. If you come in this building, you gotta be on your P's and Q's because I'm finna screw you over. And I'm looking at it like, have y'all ever looked? Obviously, a lot of y'all are sociopaths and psychopaths because once you start dealing in the aspect of, oh, I'm gonna be the aggressor and screwing you over, and the other person is like, oh, since you're gonna try to screw me over, I'm gonna try to screw you over in this way. It's going downhill. It's going downhill and downhill fast because now one of y'all a snake and one of y'all a shark. And just because you a shark, you might not be in the terrain to win against a snake. You get what I'm saying? So that's the crux of this issue at this particular point. I'm looking online at I hate to say this, man. Every now and then I watch these Karamo clips, and I'm looking at bad parents with bad behavior, mad at their kids for being bad. And it's like, what did you expect was going to happen? But then on the flip side, I'm looking at bad kids with bad behavior, upset that nobody wants to deal with them. And it's like when they become grown, and it's like, hey man, what world are you living in? Who wants to put up with your BS? Seriously. And this is what I mean by when people are snakes and sharks, because now we're looking at, I'm looking at two extremes in social media and even in real life, where One is you you cross the line and you're unredeemable. Let's write this person off. And then the other is this person's so messed up that they need an infinite amount of chances because they're gonna get it right one day. Which, by the way, by the end of the day, it turns them into the person that's unredeemable that you need to write off because you let them get away with so much. So it's like, okay, so what are we doing? If you're gonna be, you know, my, I'm of the opinion if you're gonna jump off the porch and be something negative, negative stuff's gonna happen. That's just what it is. Can't get around it. You know, you want to be a lion, you got to be in the jungle. You want to be a dog, you got to fight the other dogs. It's not one of those things where I just, I can finesse like the term for years. That term finesse, meant scamming. It means scamming. I'm gonna finesse the situation. I'm a scam, and people go, "Oh, they were good for finessing that for scamming." It's like, oh, okay, so that scamming is smart now. You know, finessing is smart now. And then at the same time, somebody going completely left on somebody that was scamming them or finessing them is evil now. So it's like, we've entered a society where it's going all wrong. It used to be a time where if somebody, and this is extreme, because that's even biblical. If somebody goes into your house and steals your property, you can go in your house, their house, to get it back. Now we live in a time where somebody could go in your house and steal your property, and then when you go to their house, oh, you're breaking and entering. Oh, this is a crime. You can't do that. Like, um, when I saw the woman get arrested in New York because of the squatters, you get what I'm saying? She trying to get the house fixed up. So people squatted in the house and now I live there. And then she went back in the house to change the locks. And then she gets arrested by the cops because a squatter has rights. And it's like, bro, who are you? Like, what are we doing as a society at this particular point where we're allowing one bad behavior, excusing one bad behavior, and then we're trying to make victims out of villains, is what I'm getting at. If you're a villain, and you got a history of being a villain, you can't be a victim. And if it's two villains together, how the heck is there a victim in that situation? Nobody can say anything. Like, if the joke, like you just use a, comic reference. It's like, to me, it's like the Joker and Lex Luthor getting into it, and then people going, the Joker went too far. The Joker went too far. He crazy. He just beat that bald man in the suit that plotted to kill all them people. He stabbed all them people up. He is crazy. And it's like, well, they both evil, right? Like, they like this person. This person is super crazy to you, but this person is just that calculated, so it doesn't count. And I'm like, man, you out of your mind. That's just my opinion. That's just my point of view of that. Now, like, I really don't like going down this road, but when I hear the mindset of people who think, like, I heard a clip of guy was like, that's victim mentality, and it started dawning on me, like, more and more what I'm talking about. Some of y'all, like, there are people who are privileged in society, and there are people who are sheltered. And what I'm looking at is a society of privileged people and sheltered people who have a quote unquote voice. And when people deal with have adversity in their life, they look at them like they're crazy. Like, you're a victim. And it's like, you're a privileged, spoiled brat who became an adult. What the hell do you know about being a victim in the first place? You weren't in a situation to be put in a bad situation. Maybe you were born in a situation, or maybe you're just one of those people who don't actually do things in life. And you're one of those people who go, well, I'll never do that. I know you'll never do that because you'll never try, because you sheltered. You need to be protected your whole life. So that becomes an issue. And these people turn into snakes and sharks because people don't want to hear it, but we live in a world when somebody is perceived to be strong or smart or talented. What people do is attack them because they don't want them to fulfill their potential. Let's just say it that way. And nobody ever questions the people who are attacking the other people. They only question the response. Because I was listening to a guy talk about, I did a video on it, but I want to say that the Indianapolis coach GM, when one of the players, he got a bad reputation from an anonymous source. And the guy was like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all these anonymous people doing all this anonymous stuff, ruining people's reputation because they don't want to see them successful. And and at times you see successful people trying to ruin people, before they get started to be successful because they're afraid that that person is gonna, let's just say, take their spot or whatever. And what I'm seeing over and over and over again is people trying to find an opportunity that they can be a snake or a shark scot-free of consequences. And the reason that bothers me is because if you keep going down this road, what's going to happen is people are going to lash out and without care of consequence, because they're going to go, you know what, between me, if it's a situation between this person, me and this other person, I already know I'm gonna be on the losing side of the battle because they're gonna have this persona and people are gonna go with this stereotypical persona, and I'm gonna be on that side of the persona and people are gonna go with that stereotypical side of the persona. So you know what, I'm gonna take it all the way there, forget it. I'm already even when I'm wrong. I mean, even when I'm right, I'm gonna be wrong. So F it, I'm gonna be all the way wrong. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't think people really want this to go where it's gonna go. And what I mean by that is when when justice and fairness can be tinkered with, like it always has been. Let's not get it twisted. But when you can tinker with justice and fairness in this age, where you can have everything on camera or everything recorded, and people can see something and go, yeah, I don't care if I saw that. It don't matter. I still feel what I feel and I think what I think. Okay. Or people can see something and jump on the bandwagon, kind of like, remember when they had the picture when is it Kiki Palmer? Yeah, when Kiki Palmer was getting into it with her kid's father, and she put out the pictures or the video of them in the house, and people like, oh, it's over. And then weeks later, there was no audio because there was no audio. When the rest of it came out, people go, oh, we got an issue. And I'm like, yeah, we do. We do got an issue. The issue is we can't look at things objectively anymore. We can't look at things fair and objectively anymore because guess what's going to happen? At a certain point, we're going to institute our own bias and stereotypes in it. And I'm saying that because when people are snakes and sharks, people play on that. So, like when I brought up the lawyer thing earlier, I already know that lawyers are going to play on that. Like, oh, yeah, I know what we could do. we can make this angle and this angle and this angle and this angle, and all we got to do is muddy the water. That's all we got to do. We got to put a little bit of doubt in people's minds. People gonna go, and that becomes a problem. And I'm gonna say something. This might be controversial, but even with that tape coming out, it's dead wrong. Dead wrong. No way around it. But people gonna start asking questions like, so why, if you settle with this person and this tape came out, what else is about to happen? Because a month ago, they was looking for all the sex party stuff, and then you found out you ain't got no sex party information. You got this hotel tape. Something's off. Something's off. Or you gonna start trickling out information to sue this guy, like Bill Cosby style. It's like something's off. And I'm looking at stuff like, when a person is no good, when you need a wolf to get a wolf, there are no rules. And that's interesting to me, because when you need to be a wolf to get a wolf, there are no rules. And at the end of the day, if there are, it's weird because there can be the rules don't apply to one side. Because, hey man, I think this person's so bad, I don't care what you do to get him. It's like, okay, cool. But what happens is you empower the other person to do that exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again to other people. And they get a certain protected class about that. So now they get in a protected class about that. Now they're taking advantage of their power. They started out as a snake, now they're gonna become a shark. And then all of a sudden the cycle continues, because now the same thing that they've got empowered to do, they started doing and got away with, and now all of a sudden they done built the reputation up, and they're gonna be that very same thing. They build you up to tear you down. And I'm looking at it like, boy, people have an issue. And part of that whole thing is partly why I was talking about the society and the parenting situation, because people don't want to see it, but because of how society is set up, parenting has been set up in the parenting sense. We're in a society where most people are self-centered and selfish, and I'm not going to say irresponsible. I'm going to say inconsiderate. Most people are inconsiderate because they were taught that they could do whatever they want and there is no consequence, no real consequence. Usually the person that's going to get a consequence is the person that's about to put their foot up your behind for you being out of pocket. Ah, man, I'm gonna stick to the topic. I'm gonna stick to the topic though, because I get what you're saying. Definitely get what you're saying, Luciano. The issue becomes, because I was looking at prom videos, and it was disturbing to me. And the reason it was disturbing to me was because I'm looking at these prom videos of these young men and these young women, and they got these. I still think they dress horribly, but whatever. They got these outfits that they didn't bought. Now they rented these cars or whatever. They got these stacks of money and this, that, and the third, and jewelry and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all got these young kids thinking they're entitled to money that they don't work for, because most of them don't work. And y'all rewarded them by, send their prime is like their send off to adulthood. And I'm not too sure if most of these kids got good grades and are going to college. So now that you just we're gonna send you off like a baller, now we're gonna throw you out into the real world because I'm tired of you now. So what did you create? A person who's gonna use, manipulate, lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead because they have no skills because you didn't teach them any. And I see it over and over and over and over again. Who was that Netflix show when they had the rich folks in California paying for their kids to get into like Stanford and USC and whatnot. Like we gonna get over this. Is we got the money to do it. Blah blah blah. So now that they're unqualified, not not just unqualified, but not I can't even say well I could say lazy, but coddled kids. You put them in an environment and trying to pay for their success at in an institution that people get mad at and talk about, oh, the other people are here for affirmative action. It's like, we're going to have problems because even with the racial thing, y'all can't tell, a lot of people can't tell when somebody's a snake or a shark if you change the race. If they black, shady, I think they shady. If they white, I'm not too sure. And it's like, yo, a snake is a snake. A shark is a shark. It's nowhere around it. Like, what is the young lady, the woman? Is it Stormy Wellington? People look at her with a side eye, but I think she works with Grant Cardone, but people don't look at him with the side eye like they look at her. And I'm like, it's the same damn person. But once you add race, gender, age, income, upbringing, you have a whole different stereotype that if you're from the wrong side of the tracks, I could see you as a snake or shark immediately, even if you're not. But if you come from the right side of town, I can't see you as a snake or a shark, even if you are. And people play on that over and over and over and over again. And I'm sitting here watching, you know, people worried about America and in the election and this, that, and the third. I'm thinking to myself, it's not gonna go well. Like, I don't really like talking about politics because one of the things is this: you got for our upcoming, you got Trump, you got Biden, right? And I've said it before. Neither one of them are talking about the economy. None of them, because it's terrible. Yeah. And then you have people like, oh, I like Trump because of Trump. You're gonna make America. We're gonna change the country. It was good. And it's like, no, it wasn't. Where the were you living at? Because it wasn't good. And it ain't really got nothing to do with him. That is not good. It wasn't good when he got there. And then on the flip side, oh, but I don't want to vote for Biden because, but I don't want Trump in there because he gonna do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, both of them ain't gonna do nothing. Both of them doggone almost 80 years old. They just want to sit in the office and just act like they doing something. That's it. That's all they gonna do. So you can't. So a person, I remember when Biden told Charlamagne, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and he just stood there like, but we don't want Trump. And I'm looking at other people like, but we want Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all don't know the difference between the shade. Y'all are snakes. Like sometimes people vicariously want to be the bad guy. Some of y'all are snakes and y'all want to be sharks. Y'all just ain't done enough to be sharks. So he's like, oh, like back in the day when people used to tell me, and I hate to bring this up, but people used to say I like Scarface and the Goodfellas because that's a heroic movie. For me, I knew at that point you was a scumbag. Because ain't nothing heroic about Scarface and ain't nothing heroic about Godfather, the Goodfellas. They all scumbags. Oh, I wanted the bad guy to win. Okay, all right, okay. You watching movies and you want the bad guy to win because it's gonna make your day. But then your punk ass want to go to heaven when you die. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's part of this issue I'm talking about when people are snakes and sharks. Somehow, this idea that I can do bad things and have bad intentions and have bad deeds And as long as I throw, I got it. I can be Judas, but as long as I throw Satan under the bus, God got my back. It's like, no, 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 no. I did some things, but I didn't do all of that. And it's like, bro, like people have been orchestrating um destruction for some years now. And we don't want to say, yeah, this is a bad look. Because it is. We don't want to say, uh, why is it people aren't I was looking at uh the Gen X thing, the Gen Xers ain't we ain't like y'all don't take y'all bad grandparents. And y'all bad parents. And I'm laughing because I'm looking at the responses from the people in Gen X, and I'm thinking to myself, they're right and wrong. They're right and wrong. Because some of us in Gen X, uh, uh, bad parents. But some of y'all don't realize some of the bad parents you're talking about is millennials too. And you think they Gen X, you know, because uh, millennials are like 40, the oldest millennials like 43. I want to say something like that. I want to say 43, 42, and y'all don't realize that that's what happened. And on the other note, I heard one of the people respond and say something to the effect is, like I said earlier, if you don't listen and you hard-headed, why do you expect help? Who told you could just do whatever you want and burn every bridge possible and cross whoever you want? And at the end of the day, somebody got to look out for you. Whoever told you that or whatever made you believe that lets me know you're an idiot. You know what? Let me vent for a second. I tell people, I'm kind of confrontational. Only if you do something. So I'm working today. I'm working and I'm driving, and this guy's in his truck. He just cuts me off, but he's on the phone. He just, he no blinker, just and I'm like, yo, what the? So now he cuts me off. Then he starts hitting the brakes. So for me, I'm like, he's on the phone, but he's driving crazy. So I'm trying to move around. Then he almost hit me again, and I hit the horn. And I hit the horn, and I wound up pulling into a gas station because I was going to get something to drink, actually. He pulls into the gas station. I was like, oh, you got road rage. Okay, cool. I'm going to see you. It- it- you know, so he gets out of this truck, and I get out of mine. I'm like, hey, man, what is your problem? And then he's, oh, no, no, hablo, no, da, 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 da. I was like, no, I don't want to hear that. What is your motherfucking problem, dog? You almost hit me twice. Oh, no, hablo. I'm looking at him. I don't want to hit. I said, I don't trust that no hablo stuff, dog. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I was like, if I wasn't working, I would have knocked him out at the gas station. Swear, I would have knocked him smooth out at the gas station. Because I'm thinking to myself, bro, you can't tell me you tried to hit me once. You hit your brakes after you tried to hit me. I moved around. You cut me off again and did the same thing. So when I pulled over the gas, I said, "Oh, this dude wants smoke. Let's get it. No, let's get it. Nah, let's get it." And then it's, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "No, dog." Mm-mm. And when he got out of the car, I immediately knew he was going to back down because his frame was like, oh, you one of the people. Because I was like, are you not? Because I was like, you don't pay attention to something? What's the problem? Because he's still on the phone. But I'm like, nah, dog. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm not trying to hear that. The person on the phone is no English too. And I'm saying that for me as a person, right? Because this has happened before with other people. And I've been out places and people have Uh, yeah, I've been places and I've seen people be unnecessarily aggressive to like get out my face and like, bro, okay. And I've been places where I've been like, hey, you think that that's gonna stop you? I don't know what you. I think you think that's gonna make people back off of you and make people scared of you. But what you really gonna do is you're gonna get knocked out. It's gonna go. It's gonna get violent fast. And the reason why I say that snakes are known for the term snake is being is a person who's basically a backstabber who won't really, who really won't get at you, not to your face. A shark is a person that's gonna get at you to your face. And I realized a long time ago that people in our society are mad at something. And they think it gives them the right to take that out on people they don't know. And the problem is at a certain point, there are people who don't care about what you're going through because you're trying to inflict pain on them and they don't know you. So their ultimate response is going to be, well, you want pain, I'll give it to you because you don't know what other people are going through. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think a lot of people are mad at their life, but they're not mad at themselves for the decisions that they made in their life to put their life in the position that it is. So since let's just say since I'm mad at me because I'm mad at the world because I made bad decisions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stab you in the back. I'm gonna lie, cheat, and steal from you. I'm gonna ruin your reputation. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third to you. And I'm looking like, but what happens when somebody responds to that? Are you gonna are you gonna play victim? And that's what I'm seeing often people playing victim. We're living in a society of adults who are like abusing children, and then when adults respond to them abusing children, the adult who fought for the on a child's behalf is the problem. You know, yeah, man, you got that, Luciano. That's an issue. That's an issue. Um, boy, let's just you got people glorifying dealing drugs. And oh, I made it out of their life, man. I don't care what you did. You got women glorifying sex work, but at the same time on that Me Too stuff. And let me back up. You got people who are who glorify dealing drugs, but didn't want to be want God's forgiveness. You get what I'm saying? How can I say this? Deal, like it's no nice way to say it. Like people look at Jay Morrison right now, how they should have looked at him years ago. Man, this dude stole all his money. Yeah, but you supported it. The fact, like, here's what I'm saying. If you look at somebody and you see them as a snake, but you support it, you got a problem. What's happening, y'all? Like you got a problem. Like, oh, I see the best in him. I see the best in them, even though they did the worst stuff. And it's like, oh, no, 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 no. So now you saw this person being you know this person has snake tendencies, but you believe in it, you invest in it, and you mad that now they become a snake. I'm like, I what did you expect? I mean, would you leave? Like, we're at a point where, you know, we're for all intents purposes, I say this is not what it used to be. We're gonna leave money around the crackhead and getting mad that they stole it. And I'm like, bro, why would you leave the money around the crackhead? Well, I was hoping that they wasn't gonna be a crackhead. I was hoping that this time they was gonna get it together. The last 7 times they stole the money, but somewhere in my heart, it's like, no, you stupid at this point. You're enabling this this stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, you y'all dropping, the, boy, I hate to say this. They said this family member, you know, you better watch your kids around this family member because they might touch them. And that's the family member. Well, you know what I'm saying? I just left the baby over there because, they ain't gonna do nothing this time. I mean, we heard they got a history of fondling little kids, but you know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna do nothing to my baby. And it's like, I gotta ask the question: how much do you hate your baby to put them in that scenario? Because to me, what you did was you served that baby up on a platter and played stupid. This is what I mean when people are snakes and sharks, because guess who you gonna point at? He touched that baby. And I'm gonna point at, you knew that fool was touching kids and you dropped your kid off over there. I'm trying to figure out wait now. But they shouldn't have done it. No. Anybody who got, everybody who got car and car insurance know you could get carjacked and your car insurance to cover it. But if you go into a store with your car running and the door unlocked and somebody drives off in your car, they're not gonna cover that because they're gonna be like, what the why would you have a car running and the car unlocked and when you walk away from it? Seem like you might have been in on this stuff, man. It seemed like you're trying to get a payday here. And this is what I mean by snakes and sharks. When people are snakes and sharks, they do suspect stuff. So I'm not finna just point at one person. What's up, fam? I'm not finna point at one person anymore. I'm like, no. And maybe just because I'm skeptical of people now. Because in my lifetime, I've seen people orchestrate the destruction of a person. I can't even say testify on the stand, but I'm just using it as a reference. They orchestrate. Oh, I'm gonna get them this way, and they could be. All of a sudden, they did all of that. It's like this person lied and stole. They manipulated this whole situation, and because we live in a society where you'll believe a good lie, or you'll believe a half truth, and you don't care when you find out the truth. So we're incentivizing people to lie, tell half truths, uh, um, not even bend, not even bend the situation, but how would I say that? Um, Not even like orchestrate a public a public lynching of a person and walk off into the sunset, and then we go 5 years later and find out this person's a shark, and publicly lynch him. This person's a snake, and people go, but they was with that shark, so it don't count. And then 5 years later, you go, wait a minute, didn't they do that to that person back in the day? Oh wait, time out. Wait a minute, time out. They got a history of doing that stuff? Yeah, man. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I was telling, I'm gonna use an old story. It's wrong. I'm gonna use a Michael Vick story. I was telling my lady, I said, listen, you remember when Michael Vick got caught up with that dog fighting stuff? At the time, I didn't believe it because I knew to play with the Atlanta Falcons, you have to live in Atlanta. So I'm like, it's no way he fighting dogs in Virginia when he live in Atlanta. He can't do it. It's just not physically possible. Now, when he admitted He said, man, I was flying to Virginia every off day. And I was like, boy, this boy stupid. I thought this dude wasn't that stupid, but he's stupid. But then what nobody talks about, and I was telling her what bothered me about this story was prior to him getting arrested for dog fighting, there was a white guy who got arrested for dog fighting like in Mississippi. And if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the dog breeders that sent dogs to Vic. So I think he sent dogs to Vic, and I think he sent dogs to Big Boy. I could be mistaken, but I believe that's what happened. So he gets arrested for dog fighting, ring this, that, and the third. So then Vic gets investigated. Now he get caught for dog fighting. The white guy, he basically gets a misdemeanor. It's not a felony because dog fighting wasn't a felony at the time. So when Vic got arrested for it or got charged for it, it was still like a misdemeanor. They stalled it out and made an example out of him and made it a felony before they actually put the hammer down on him. And people go, hey, well, he committed a crime. He was doing that. He's stupid. It's wrong. I'm like, you absolutely right. He was stupid. He's wrong. He committed a crime. But I got to ask the question, who the person that stalled it out and who's the person that stalled it out to make a law different from him than the other person? Because now we're dealing with sharks and snakes. Because what you're telling me is, I need to, you know what? We found one. I can make my career. Oh, I'm the guy that got him prosecuted. I'm the guy that bumped up the law. And I'm like, wait a minute. Time out, bro. What did you do that for? Man, what's up? What's up, George? So I'm looking in a society where people want to be snakes and people want to be sharks, but people want to be victims too. And I just don't understand that. Because sometimes we don't look at both sides. It's like, that's not good, man. It's not good. I was it's going to so man, it sucks. So I was looking at a video of a young lady who was a mother, because you know how you have those now on YouTube and social media, you can have those family court hearings, All right. You just put in all caps. It's all good. It was one of those moments where the mother was on the hearing or whatever, and she got so frustrated. She said, "Can I go to jail if I decide not to participate in this whole little process?" And the lady was like, "Look, this is a civil trial. You can't go to jail for it." And in my mind, I was like, if a father said he wasn't going to participate and follow your rules in that family court, he could go to jail. But you're going to tell a mother no. And then she said, you know what? You can keep the kids. I don't want it. And at that point, because that's what the video was about, I was sitting there and I said, you know what happened? We're dealing in a society that the law is so full of it that the law is because its hypocrisy is being pointed out in social media. Everyone wants to be a victim, but almost nobody wants to deal with it. Yeah. So now this becomes an issue because now you're seeing courts go, we thought this person, good person, this person, bad person. Now it's a situation, even in family court, where it's like, did we actually do the right thing? And this is my issue with snakes and sharks. And I wrote this even in my book back in the day about the family court and money. The issue with the family court is that some of these family courts, child support is a kickback to their retirement. So 9 times out of 10, who are they going to be in favor of? the person that's supposed to make the least amount of money, because I'm going to give the baby to the person who supposedly makes more money because I get more money for my kickback, which 9 times out of 10 is the guy. So how can you find fairness in something like that? You can't. She could be a snake, the judge could be a shark. And then years later, people go, oh, you know what? And this is what happens in court. You know, I saw that little video of the guy. What is the guy's name? The guy that got pardoned for running over those people at the Black Lives Matter thing. I mean, whatever. He got pardoned. Okay. But if you're telling me this guy has his information out there that he meant to do it and you pardon him anyways, you got an issue. You got an issue. That becomes a huge problem. Huge problem. Because now, you know, we're dealing with the issue of society being for sale, which it is. It's always been for sale. America has always been for sale. Morals in America have been for sale since the beginning of America. Since before the beginning of America, I should say. So at the end of the day, and here's if all of y'all watch Batman, the one with Christian Bale, with Bane and Catwoman, there's a scene in that movie where Catwoman is at a bar with the dude that paid her to rob Bruce Wayne, and the police raid the bar. And when they raid that bar, Catwoman goes in a full victim crying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And the cops overlook her. And they arrest everybody else and she walks right out the door. Because what? She was a snake, but the cops looked at everybody else in the room as a shark. And the person you should have locked up would have been her. You know, but let me start. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all, because my dog he needs to go outside, so he whining about it. Okay. But I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all have a great day. I'm finna go get something to eat after I let him out. But catch y'all on the next one. You know. Yeah, I did notice that. But like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.